Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your latest Chelsea news. This rumor, this cloud above Enzo Fernandez is just not going away, ladies and gentlemen. This news has been resurfacing every now and then. Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid, Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid. It's always seems to be lurking around like a bad smell, and I'm starting to feel where there is a little bit of smoke, there's a little bit of fire. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the latest that's popping off in regards to Enzo Fernandez. And who knows, maybe is there a swap deal that's on the card with Real Madrid? We'll talk about who that player might be down the track. But this is the latest coming from Nizar Kinsella. There is interest. So we've had other journalists talk about it. Now we're starting to get mainstream Chelsea journalists that actually report on Chelsea are starting to talk about this. There's interest from Real Madrid in Enzo Fernandez. Sources say Chelsea would ask for more than 107 million they paid for Enzo Fernandez's services from Benfica. Now, before we get into the deeper levels of this and try and unpack all of this stuff, whether this is possible, whether this is actually true or not, whether this is complete false news, we'll talk about that in details. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, if you have missed out earlier today, All You Can Eat Chelsea episode, as you can see, the latest episode is right there, Judgment Day. Everything about Nottingham Forest, the big last day finale, season finale, Premier League finale is coming up. And if you've missed out on that episode, do give that a watch. Judgment Day, All You Can Eat Chelsea, latest episode where we just talk everything in regards to Nottingham Forest. You'll see whether we are nervous, whether we're excited and whatnot. So do give that a watch if you've missed that, and subscribe to The Other Side of the Coin if you haven't. And next one, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. TV Total Football. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, you definitely want to. Some cracking videos happening there, keeping a tab on everything football besides Chelsea. So all the other clubs, all the news is there. The latest video will drop with straight after this. So as soon as you're done with this, you'll see a latest video talking about all the latest news that's happening in world football, all the important ones that is going to pop off here. As I said, a new video is coming up within the next few minutes. As soon as you're done with this, pop over to Ms. TV Total Football and start watching the content there as well. Now, coming back to Enzo Fernandez, ladies and gentlemen. Enzo Fernandez, look, let me tell you something. I feel like there is probably some truth to this rumor. I don't think this player is going to stay at Chelsea Football Club forever. For anyone that thinks like that, you are naive. I know he's got a long-term contract. Long-term contract to me means diddly squat. As soon as the player starts saying that he wants to leave, the club will have to oblige. Yeah, okay, we want the right price. This is why we've set the target of 107 million. We want to make sure that we don't make any loss on this particular player. But to people that think, the club has all the power. If they don't want to sell, they won't sell. They'll make the player upset. It's no good. Making the player upset is absolutely no good. Enzo Fernandez literally signed a new contract with Benfica prior to joining us, and that was only after being in Benfica for 6 months. He joined Benfica. 6 months later, he joined Chelsea Football Club, and he was, pumping the badge, Benfica badge, this, that, the other. Look, contracts, it protects the club, long-term contracts, so it protects Chelsea Football Club, but ultimately, if the player wants to leave, he'll leave. So I don't believe Enzo Fernandez is going to stay with Chelsea Football Club forever. That's number one. Number two, is he actually thinking about leaving right now? Maybe not. But this rumor with Real Madrid, this isn't the first time this news has come up. And as I said, when there is a little bit of smoke somewhere, there's some form of fire. Look, if Chelsea Football Club continue not being in the Champions League, continue not being serious in the Premier League in terms of competing for the title, players like Enzo Fernandez, players like Cole Palmer, they will look to move on, because they want to win trophies. They want to compete. Is someone like Enzo Fernandez, can I picture him play for Real Madrid? Of course I can. Real Madrid at the moment, if anything, this season, they seem so disjointed, especially in midfield, with the likes of Toni Kroos moving on, who was the orchestrator, the maestro in midfield. I can picture Enzo Fernandez going into Real Madrid and being that type of a player who's able to link the defense with offense. Modric is getting old over there. Jude Bellingham doesn't seem like he's that type of a player that can link that can link defense to midfield to offense. He seems like Jude Bellingham, I think, is very good in the final third and is obviously a robust midfielder, but he's not that type of a passing type of a midfielder. And so I can see Enzo Fernandez definitely making an impact at Real Madrid. So that's another tick point. So yeah, look, the price has to be the real deal here. If we get the right price, and look, Chelsea Football Club, as much as I'd love to keep Enzo Fernandez, I like this player a lot. I think he brings a lot of value to us. If we play to his strengths, which in recent times we have been, he is starting to understand what Maresca wants from him as well. He's scoring important goals for us. He should have had a lot more assists than what he has in the books. I don't want him to go, but when you look at our midfield, in the likes of Caicedo, Lavia, we've got other youngsters coming up. Andre Santos is also another player that's returning back. This is where the rumor of that swap deal. Now, I didn't entertain this swap deal a few days ago. Well, it wasn't even a swap deal. It was just Ben Jacobs creating a rumor. And I still think it's Ben Jacobs driving all of this nonsense. But there is some sort of a rumor, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get to that rumor right now. But quickly, leading up to that rumor, this is what Fabrizio Romano said. Chelsea will sign a striker and an important winger in the summer window. Definitely we need a striker. There's no two ways about that. I think Nicholas Jackson could learn off an experienced striker. And Chelsea Football Club needs an experienced striker, someone who's done it at the highest level and can bang in goals for us, and an important winger. Now, one winger's name that has popped up in recent times is Rodrygo. And it all started from Ben Jacobs. And I've said that Ben Jacobs, this guy, man, he said that he's hearing voices in his ear like Randy Orton. Now, Goal Brazil. Now, I don't know whether Goal Brazil is, piggybacking off Ben Jacobs' news. I never trust Ben Jacobs, man. And I keep thinking, why would Rodrygo come to Chelsea Football Club? Seriously, why? We need to make it to Champions League football. That's number one priority. If we don't make it, I don't see how Rodrygo comes in. And number two, are we going to pay that level of transfer fee and that level of wages as well? Because Rodrygo is not going to be capped at 150,000. This guy, he does fit the important winger bill, but he ain't coming to Chelsea Football Club to earn peanuts. Do you know what I mean? So, look, this is where I'm thinking, does Enzo Fernandez go to Real Madrid? Maybe there's some negotiations with Rodrygo to come to Chelsea Football Club. Estevão Willian, Brazilian. Andre Santos, Brazilian. Do we have other Brazilian? Yeah, we bought a left back as well, Brazilian kid. I'm pretty sure there's probably other Brazilian kids that are lurking around for us. Rodrygo, he might. I don't know. I don't want to get carried away and think that he might fancy Chelsea Football Club, because this is all hype and this is all just building us fan base to this level, and only to crash us with a Garnacho, acquisition or Jamie Gittins acquisition later on. But Enzo Fernandez swap with Rodrygo, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section. I don't know. Maybe I might entertain that. We need our wingers to pop off with goals, and someone like Rodrygo, he's a special player. He definitely is a special player. Can we do without someone like Enzo Fernandez and do with someone like Rodrygo? Perhaps. But I just think this is too far-fetched. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know. This is the news that's been popping off. Breaking: Chelsea are considering making a bid for Rodrygo. They have started talks with his entourage from Goal Brazil. So we had Ben Jacobs, who was talking about. Ben Jacobs, he's still talking about this. So this was May 15th, where he talked about the Rodrygo and how Chelsea see it as a market opportunity. He then follows it up today by saying Rodrygo could make a market opportunity this summer. Again, he talks about the market opportunity. Premier League clubs are alert to this situation, as Real could sanction an exit for around 90 to 100 million. Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool aware of this, but no approach or bid yet from any. Al Hilal have also looked in the past, which is mad. Look, I can see Arsenal being in the mix because they want to get an important winger as well. 90 to 100 million euros, that'll probably offset what Enzo Fernandez costs as well. Can Real Madrid do with a player like Enzo Fernandez? Is Rodrygo surplus to requirements? Is Rodrygo like Arda Güler over there? Is he the one who's going to take over in the wings position? Arda Güler is a particular player. I don't mind him either, to be honest. He's a very, very good, classy player. Turkish, some Turkish vibes at Chelsea Football Club. I don't mind that one bit, but let's see. Rodrygo recently has come out and said all of these nonsense stories. He ain't going nowhere. But you never know. You never know. Mad stuff has happened. And Ben Jacobs, if this, although Ben Jacobs has not confirmed anything, he just said that there is a market opportunity, which obviously there is a market opportunity, but he's not really gone out there on the limb and said, yeah, this is concrete. So Ben Jacobs, he knows what he's doing. Journalists are journalisting. Journalisting, I'm making stuff up. Do you know what I mean? All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea and Arsenal love Nico Williams and have made contacts to understand how much the whole package will be. In recent years, it has been very expensive, 50 million clause plus taxes plus salary and commissions. Look, this Nico Williams news just never seems to go away. Yeah, he's another important winger. I know he hasn't done that much numbers, but he's a good winger. A Spanish international, very good winger. The wages are mad, though. The wages are mad. He wants something in excess of 200,000. He ain't settling for 150,000, that's for sure. Fabrizio Romano keeps driving this Nico Williams news to us and Arsenal. Any important winger seems to be involving us and Arsenal. Arsenal definitely need a winger. We definitely need a winger. But these names, Rodrygo and Nico Williams, as much as I love them, as much as these names probably would have been possible under Roman Abramovich, under the new ownership, the new directorship, whether we do that type of wages, whether we're going to stash out that much money again, I'm not quite sure about that, to be honest. It's going to be an interesting summer window. We got to get rid of so many players as well. So maybe we might, raise a lot of fun by letting go a lot of players. Todd Bowley, this is what he had to say. Recently, he was in Qatar Economic Forum, and this is via at business. Todd Bowley, we know what we need to do. We know the places that we need to invest. That's going to be our focus. So look, for the first time, I actually have to say Todd Bowley is talking the right talk. Yeah, we don't need to go out there and just do business everywhere and buy more kids, which I'm sure we will, unless proven wrong otherwise. But I like how he's just said that we'll focus on what we need. And if you're a logical Chelsea fan, we need a striker. Yeah, we need an important winger, and we probably need a important CB, experienced CB. Definitely, we need a goalkeeper. But we've got so many goalkeepers, we're probably not going to do that. Besides that, we don't need any more. We don't need any more midfielders. We don't need any other shenanigans happening. So Todd Bowley's right. We're going to focus on what we need. But are we actually going to do that? We're generally, when it comes to transfer windows, we are on drugs when it comes to transfer windows. Last but not least, Caicedo and Palmer are considered untouchable. The rest of the players could be sold at the right price. Now, I commented here, and let me know how you guys feel about this. 781 likes, by the way. Cucurella should be untouchable too, if I'm being honest. 17 replies. Some people agree, some people don't agree. Let me know your thoughts. I feel like he should be untouchable. But then again, he's going to turn 27 this year, and that is deemed to be a retirement age at Chelsea Football Club. But for me, how Cucurella is not in that untouchable list, that's a bit beyond me. But you let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section. It's a nice discussion point there. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Let's have a look at the final score. What's going on with Manchester City? 3-3. Manchester City has got a third, and the third goal is from Nico Gonzalez. So forget about Manchester City or Bournemouth trying to do something for us. I thought maybe Kepa Arrizabalaga was going to do something, but no. Crystal Palace have won as well, but that game does not matter. Final day. It all comes down to the final day. Madness. I think Manchester City is locked in a position, so forget about that. 1, 2, 3 is done. 4th and 5th position up for grabs. Let's see what we can do against Nottingham Forest. Until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya.